have company today. Sophia, she works hard for her money. She got paid yesterday. And this girl will be driving this weekend.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but it's just in a school parking lot. So.
You'll be fine.
But I'm with my friend. I got partnered up with my friend.
Oh, Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll work out perfectly for you. The two of you on the road together. Ah, look out. And then Christy came over to use my printer, but we can't figure out how to get her to print her stuff. I can print my stuff, but so Christy can't print her stuff. And no birds yet. Oh, wait a minute. There's one over there. There he is. There's a birdie. You can go over there now because the bully bird has left. Well, hello on this beautiful Sunday morning. As you can see, I had some visitors today, but we'll get to that in a minute. Today is Sunday, April 6th, and we have one birthday today because today is Lisa Short's birthday. So, Lisa, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's all, well, you're the only one who had a birthday today, so happy, happy, happy birthday. But we have a really spectacular anniversary because today is Bill and Sue Colbeck's 57th anniversary. 57 years. Wow. I wonder how long you've been together. I know you've been married for 57 years. Jim and I have been married. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary. Well, I hope you have a great, great anniversary. Like I was saying, Jim and I are going to be married 54 years this year, and we've been together for 58 years. So we've been together almost as long as you've been married. Anyway, I hope you have a great anniversary. 57 years, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I was watching a show the other day, and Pierce Brosnan was on. He's in that new show on Paramount Plus called Mobland. I told you I watched the first episode. Jim and I liked it. Jim's given it a second episode. It's kind of dark, and we watched it during the day. We had so much sunlight come into our house. We have like so much beautiful natural lighting, as they say on all these home improvement shows, that sometimes it's hard to watch TV during the day if it's a night scene. A lot of times when I'm sitting back here, I realize now how much I miss the tree, because the tree shaded this room a little bit. And so now when I watch TV back here during the day, if it's a night scene, I have to have the blinds closed. Otherwise, I don't see what's going on. But anyway, Mobland's a little bit dark. And so, but I enjoyed it. Jim, he's going to give it a second shot. But anyway, with Pierce Brosnan was on Stephen Colbert the other day, and he was talking about his mother still alive. Pierce Brosnan is 71. I think he's 71. I'm almost positive he's 71. Anyway, he's 71 and his mother's 93. I can't imagine. I would love if my mother was still alive, but my mother would have been 100 this year, which is quite possible. She could have been. Betty White was almost 100 when she passed, so I mean, it could have been possible. But it's just kind of hard for me to fathom at my age that my parents would still be alive. Jimmy Carter, I think his son was 77 when he passed. When Jimmy Carter passed, his son was 77. It would be so nice, wouldn't it? But anyway, so like I said, I do miss the tree. And then tonight is the last episode of 1923 with Harrison Ford. They're not going to do another season, which kind of bums me out. They got a lot of wrapping up to do today. And then The White Lotus, it's an hour-and-a-half show. It's the last one of the season. They're going to wrap everything up. I kind of wondered how that's going to end. It's kind of like they've got so many scenarios going on. I don't want to ruin it if anybody's like waiting to binge watch it at the end. But I have my theories, and I'll let you know tomorrow if any of my theories came to fruition. But I have a couple things going on that I think is going to happen. And then yesterday I watched. I realized yesterday I'm sitting on my butt way too much. I think that tomorrow I'm going to have a gain because I have to get out and move. I just got to get out and start moving again, because I realized that just when I'm telling you about all these shows that I'm watching, it makes me realize, at least when I'm watching a show, just so I'm not sitting the whole time. A lot of times I'll stand up and watch it standing up, kind of to justify, making justifications for my poor behavior, I guess. That I I sit too much. Anyway, I watched on Netflix a 3-part documentary called Gone Girls about the Long Island murder serial killer. Jim sent me a cute little cartoon. If I can remember, if I can find it, I'll put it right here. It was something about I either shared it or I didn't share it. I don't know if I found it, but I know it was something about that I can watch, like see a dog die or something, and I'm going to cry my eyes out. But I'm going to watch serial killers to put myself at rest so I can sleep good that night. Because Jim knows, he'll always come in, who died? Before he goes to bed, he'll always say, who died? Because he knows I'm watching some kind of a show where somebody's died. But anyway, I watched Gone Girls, which was very interesting. And then I watched a 10-part, which each one was 45 minutes long. So that shows you how long I sat and watched TV yesterday, called Pulse. It's about a doctor drama on Netflix. I did like it. The only thing I didn't like about it is that you have to really pay attention because there's so many flashbacks, like 10 months before or 6 months before or yesterday or whatever. I just like to watch it steady. I don't like all these flashbacks. And then it's set in Miami, so there's a lot of Spanish talking in it. And so there's a lot of reading of the diet, because I don't speak Spanish. So I don't know what's going on. So I have to read to hear what they're saying. It would be so nice to be so bilingual. I know that people that live like in Florida and Texas and California, a lot of places where there's a lot of Hispanic communities where they learn how to speak 2 languages, just to get along with everybody. I just like to be able to, that would probably be one of my powers that I would love to have, is like the ability to speak any language. I could speak any language. And then I've always said this before, I never understand why sign language can't be universal, that they can use the same sign for mother, father, so that it would be so much easier. If you just knew sign language, it would be the same, but it's different in every language, which I always find that fascinating. But anyway, so I watched those 2 shows yesterday, and I'm still reading my book, The Hotel Nantucket, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. I'll enjoy books so much more when I can be outside. But Christy brought me 2 more books that I'm going to read. The Maid, which I think this was the book in between the other ones, which I didn't read. No, it's not. Molly Green is like everyone else. Nope, it's a different one. Anyway, I got this one to read next, and then The Other Mothers. So I don't know which one I'm going to read first, but I'm getting back into my reading mode. And so I'm looking forward to that, getting back to reading again. I know that involves sitting again, but it's sitting outside. It's just enjoying everything. Last night, like I said, I was watching all these shows and staying up late. What I'm going to like when the weather gets a little nicer and I can have my windows open. Oh, I got something on my sleeve. Is the fact that I'll be able to get up earlier because the sun shines right in through the window. I always have my windows open. I don't like air conditioning. I'll put the air conditioning on when it's really hot and sticky and muggy and humid. But for the most part, I just like to have fresh air coming in through the windows because I have the windows closed all winter. I don't need to have them closed all summer too. So that'll get me to going to bed a little bit earlier and getting up a little bit earlier, which is what I really need to be doing. But anyway, last night I was watching the TV and I heard all this commotion outside. It was like 2:40 in the morning, and I'm thinking, what is all that? So lazy but me, because I didn't want to get up, I looked at my cameras from outside, and there was a group of about 6 kids that were probably 13, 14 years old, bunch of girls, walking down the street, making all kinds of commotion. They weren't causing any problems, but I'm thinking, what are you doing out at 20 to 3 in the morning? I'm thinking they were probably at some kind of, as Sophia said, I called her a slumber party, and Sophia started laughing. She says, Grandma, they're sleepovers. Oh, sorry. But anyway, I think that they probably would, because when I was younger, we called them slumber parties, and what we would do is we would bring our sleeping bags and lay them all out on the floor in the living room. There'd probably be 10 or 12 girls, and then we would sneak out of the house. The things you did when you were younger and you thought you got away with it just comes back to bite you when you realize that your kids are going to do the exact same thing. it's just, um, it's just, Jimmy used to sneak out of the house, but he was not the sharpest crayon in the box, let me say, because his bedroom was right above our patio going outside through the sliding doors in our family room. And what he would do is go and take the pool ladder and climb up on the roof from the pool ladder and then climb in his bedroom window when he came in late and he thought I didn't know. And then I'd get up in the morning and there would be the pool ladder sitting right outside the door. So I'm thinking, I think the sharper crayon would have known you sneak back into the house and then sometime during the night you go outside, move the ladder back to the pool and then come back in the door and pretend that you were sleepwalking or something. I don't know. But I don't know. Jimmy was my challenge. And Jimmy is like, I'm very close with all my children, but your oldest you always learn from. You learn from their mistakes with the oldest. And then by the time you come around to the last one, it's just like, what the heck? They're going to do it anyhow. So that's the way things go around here. So what am I going to do today? I taped Saturday Night Live, so I'm going to watch that, which involves sitting on my butt, I know. And like I said, Christy and Sophia were here for probably a little over an hour and a half, and we just visited. Sophia, that was it. Sophia got all A's on her report card. And so Krispy Kreme has the thing that you get a free donut for every A that you have. And she got 6 A's. So she's going to go get a half dozen donuts. I said, Sophia, you don't need a half dozen donuts. She said, well, I'm not going to eat them all. I'm going to share them with my family. And I said, well, okay, that sounds better. But I'm very proud of her, all A's. So Alyssa's doing really well, too. And so is Sebastian and Oliver. They're all get really good report cards. Always makes a grandma feel good to know that their grandkids are doing so well in school. And I'm trying to think. Oliver's just doing really well with his videos on his YouTube channel. CRISPR, CRISPER. He just plays video games. Sometimes I watch them and I think they're a little too violent. And then I say something to Danny and then he always says, yeah, okay. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe I worry too much. I just think that, I don't know. Every generation is different. I understand that. And every generation thinks that, oh my gosh, we're going to hell in a handbasket. And somehow we survive. So I'm sure my grandparents probably looked at us doing things and thought, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. When we watched 1923, it's hard to believe that, it was in the West, obviously, but to have horses and cars going down the street at the same time, it's just something I really can't fathom. And to think that was it was 100 years ago. 100 years ago sounds like wagon trains to me, but it's not. It's just how fast time goes by. All right, Sandy, you know what? You're blabbering now. Blabbering. Beep-a-da-bop. Like the Liberty commercial. Bibbidi-bobbidi boop. So, okay. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for now. Going to watch some TV, finish reading my book, do my Zoom call, try to sneak in a walk. I think I'm going to do that today. I'm going to have Jim and I go for a little quick walk around the block. It's nice enough out there today. We can do it. So that's my plan. We're going to go for a quick little walk. I know Jim will give me some flack on that, but catch him at the right moment. He'll do it. Oh, his stress test came back perfect. Perfect. The doctor called Friday to say that everything looked really good. There's nothing that they're concerned about. Gave him an excellent report. So that kind of put my mind at ease because I always worry about him with his heart and stuff like that. I worry about Jim anyhow because we're both overweight. We both need to be moving more. We both need to be eating better. And I have to get back in the habit of cooking a little bit more because I haven't been cooking as much lately. It's just kind of boring for 2 people to cook. But there's so many things I can do for just 2 people. So I'm going to try to do better this week. How's that sound? So like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I hope that you tune in again tomorrow.